I mean, one thing is, it made me kind of, it's been difficult for me to really take all my ideals and like infuse it in my daily work. But the one thing that, going to Guatemala, I went for the first time on one of the delegations as a support for our staff, and meeting with the women that are, they're risking their lives by organizing, and meeting with these banana unionists who, for the first time in their 50-year history, they have two women that are on their leadership board, and and seeing them take those risks, and then at the same time, meeting women that are from those same countries that I'm organizing. I mean, Cascadian's full of Central Americans and Southern Mexicanos, and seeing like I need to push more. I need to find a way to. I know that they have struggle. I know they have all that in them. It's like, how do you turn that on for them? And the other thing is that, especially with CAFTA that just happened, it was easy to make that connection, or it allows us to, when I first got on Stitch, the reason I did was because I was working with domestically with farm workers, and I wanted to be reminded of and have that connection of more of a global perspective, or at least American perspective, and so that's why I did it. And now I'm finding it again challenging, because as a farm worker I felt like there was a more tighter connection in terms of agriculture and organizing, but it's still very much present now. In terms of a lot of the same populations, but a different, different type of industry that that I'm working in daily. But it does help me like get out of myself. Like I'm going to the board meeting next weekend, and so getting out of my little bubble and like thinking, okay, this is a broader way of thinking. This is what I want to keep on pushing for, and when you're working for an institution like SEIU, who's great, on a lot of issues, but a lot of the conversations I used to have at PCUN, where we'd be able to call a caucus and say, talk about sexism on the job, and how this person, how our isms, internal isms are being played out, and we have this kind of conversation like. We talk about it. It's of course like on our agenda here, but there's not that same kind of grassroots organizing that happens. It's much more from an institution, and but at the same time, as an organizer at here, I'm definitely privileged to be able to do this for my work, and be able to. I go to people's homes and just meet all these workers in their homes, and see a different part of Seattle. Like growing up, I never thought about janitors, and I was raised in this town, and never had any idea about how diverse our, at least farm janitors are. Even though in Seattle, it's still invisible. But. And just getting a little glimpse of like, what's happening in Ukraine, or what's happening in Ethiopia or Eritrea and Gambia, and and just having my mind broadened in that way has been really amazing too. And like Chinese and Vietnamese, still like all of that is like even broader than like what I've been exposed to, but at least I have that opportunity a little bit to have to meet people, and our membership is so diverse. So, it really, in that way, it's really been a great opportunity.